Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Coding for Grade 8. It is the 21st of July, 2020, and we are looking at while loops with the farmer, puzzle 7 to 13. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Mr. Paul de Klerk, and I am the senior phase coding teacher for STEM Digital School. I also work and do I do a bit of extra work for Africa Teen Geeks as well on the YouTube channel and a bit of EdTech systems training. So I want to welcome you all if this is your first time. I hope you find this interesting and you enjoy it. I know we do. And then I also want to welcome any viewers that we might have on the YouTube channel. If you'd like to come and join us in the live lesson, you can head down to the video description box below. There you can find the links to our website. Everything is labeled under Africa Teen Geeks. So if you see that, don't get confused. Once you are on that site, for the most part, I've linked directly to the content where you need to be. But if you find yourself on this website, just look for this wording, STEM Digital School. It's around the center, top center. You can just click on that and it'll open up the tab that'll give you all the information that you need regarding this. Okay. So yes, that's basically it. The chat box, I don't have much issues with that in the senior phase, but if you do come here, please just keep the chat relevant to coding. If it's not necessarily something that you see on the screen at that moment, but something that you'd like to ask about, as in what types of jobs can you do if you can code and anything sort of computer science related, that's fine. If I don't know, I'll do some research for you and find out. I still owe Tedza an answer on what he can or what he needs to be able to go and study web designing. So I know about that. I'm just a bit tied down with training of staff. We're expanding again in July. Not in July, at the end of July. We might be adding some more lessons. And for that reason, my schedule is a bit crazy, but it will clear up and then we will make a get to where we need to be. Okay, anyway, that's enough of me chatting. Let's go. We are looking at this quote from Mr. Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder and CEO. I knew that if I tried and failed, I wouldn't regret that. But I knew the one thing I might regret is not trying. Okay, so spoke about this a little bit yesterday. I'm not going to get into too much detail about it today. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but yes, take this to heart. Really do. Okay. Right. So here we have conditionals, if-else logic statements that change the way that the code is executed. Conditional loops. These are repeats that execute while a condition is true or until a condition has been met. So there are two different ones. So up until now, oh no, we are still actually using these while loops. So while a condition is true, the repeat will happen. And I've actually prepared all my slides and everything for the next lesson. And then this morning during the grade 9 class, so that was probably this afternoon, I saw, because you and them, they're not too far from each other with regards to where we are in the schedule. I saw code.org went and they changed those two lessons around that I had on my slide. So after we do the farmer, let's just talk about that. And I'll show you now. While loops with the farmer is what we're doing today, right? But I want to show this to you. It's just going to make more sense. So you see at the end of my slide, you'll see that I say that we're moving into harvesting with conditionals next. So when I was preparing this, number 14 was conditionals in Minecraft, and number 13 was this one. Now it's swapped around. I actually like it that way because this is a fun one to do, and it's a nice break in between. And if you're new, these first ones are really easy. So it helps you to sort of catch up, okay? So just know, after the farmer, we're jumping into Minecraft, and then we'll jump back into the harvesting with the conditionals. Now, the harvester and the farmer is the same person, right? So here is the section that I created for for this class, for the grade 8s. So after we finished and you have the link open, you can come here and you can go and do any of these, right? You're not limited to what we have there in the puzzles. So let's do what we all came here to do, and that is to code. There's the link for you. Okay, just want to check. I don't see. Okay, I think we are good to go. So this was the one that we had yesterday. We finished off with, and I just want to talk through it while you navigate towards that. Okay. So this first move forward is just to get us on top of that, right? So what I would actually like to do is to have the turn before that, so that these two are happening in a line, because it just makes it easier on my eyes what the pattern is going to be. All right. So we're going to move here, turn right. Then we're going to fill that one, but we only have a full one block, so we're going to fill one 3 times, right? But we didn't limit it to 3 times. We said, okay, we want you to do this as long as the hole is there. So as long as there's a hole there, we will keep filling. But the moment the hole is gone, the code is going to continue to that move forward block there. So this is a conditional repeat. This is just a normal repeat, okay? And what this one does is it is going to shoot the link again. This is going to make this entire sequence repeat in sequence. So if it confuses you, you can call this a segment as well. Doesn't really matter. But this is going to force everything from this move forward to that turn left to run 3 times. But the code is going to do this once, come here and do this fill one until this condition is not true anymore. So as soon as the hole has been filled, meaning that there is not a hole anymore, so this is moving from having been met to not being met, it's going to continue to the next block of code, okay? This is what it looks like. So there's that loop that we have. Actually only to there. Let me just take this back there. This is a for loop, and they've already done all the fancy stuff for us. This count and count and count, we'll do that in a later stage. So they've already done that for us. So here we have the curly braces, and this is what we're saying. Everything inside, come on, to there. Everything inside these curly braces here, that's going to fall under that loop. So the second curly braces there, that's falling under this loop, the while loop. While hole is present. Okay, so you can see that. And then this curly brace here actually just ends it all off. Okay. Then we have a move forward. Then we start again with that while the hole is present. And there's that loop again. And then we turn left. And there we finish off everything with that curly braces there. Okay. So now we can run this. And the reason we're doing this 3 times is because we are doing 2 holes, probably from there, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 at a time. You see there we're doing 1 and there we're doing 1. So we're not just solving 1 hole, we're solving 2 holes problems with this sequence. So we repeat this entire thing 3 times, then we've done 6 hole problems, okay? So tell me, does that make sense to you? Can I move on to the next? Okay. Okay, so now we have that while loop again, but this time the condition is something else. So it's still a while loop, there's still a condition, but it's not while there is a hole. It is saying while there is a path ahead there. So you can see you can toggle that to anyone. Can be while there's a path, while there's a hole, while there's a path ahead, doesn't matter. Okay. So what we really want to do here is use this to move, because as you can see here, we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. There we're moving 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here 1, 2. So if we really want to do that, just using normal loops, we need to set that to 7 with a move forward, right? Then we're going to fill. We're going to turn left or turn left and full, doesn't matter. Then we need to use another repeat and a move forward, right? You can't nest this, because if you're going to nest this, you're going to end up with a situation where this should have then happened 4 times, but 7 times is too much for any one of these pathways here. So you can't nest it. That's not going to work. So you have to literally code every pathway on its own. That's a problem, because we're exceeding this amount of blocks that we have here, our first restriction. And the second restriction is there, you can see it shouting at us, telling us, hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be using more than 1, and we're already using 2 there. All right. So the better way to do this is we're going to say, okay, let's use the conditional. And in the conditional, we say, while there is a path, we want you to move. And now you can see she uses those little lines. It almost looks like a Wi-Fi symbols. Yeah, almost looks like a Wi-Fi symbol. And that's her checking to see whether there's a path. And you can see she doesn't try to continue walking once the path is gone. So let's just take this and make this a 10 as an example and move forward. And then you'll see when she gets to the end, there isn't any space for her to move to, but she's going to keep trying to do that. You can see that, right? She bumps into the wall. So this is now going to say, okay, as long as this condition has been met, as long as this condition is in the true state, do this. Once this is false, so it's no longer a viable option, we want you to stop doing this. We want you to go to the next block of code. And the next block of code is going to be turn left, or fill 1, or turn left and then fill 1, or fill 1 and then turn left, right? That doesn't matter. Just remember it happens in sequence, so you'll see it act out in sequence, but for now, due to where the holes are, it doesn't matter. So now if we run this, we can see, okay, it almost seems like, let's just verify, but it almost seems like we have the solution for that entire bottom pathway. And we do, look at that, right? So we've solved this. Now it stands to reason if we're not using, I want this back, if we're not using a certain number here, that the solution for this, for that is going to be exactly the same. So all we need to do is repeat this entire thing 4 times. So now you can see we're even nesting a conditional loop inside a normal loop. Okay. And if you have a look at the yellow, as the blocks are highlighting in yellow, you can see exactly what I mean when I say it's happening in sequence, right? So even if you run this, this first one doesn't line up. This one lines up because it actually has a function. It needs to check for something. This one doesn't. This one just makes this happen. Okay. But because this one is a conditional, it's going to light up. So you can see now when we reach the end of the path, this will not light up. It just continues to whatever's underneath that. Does this make sense to you? Is it easy enough? It should be relatively easy. Okay, we are ready for the challenge puzzle, in my opinion, right? I feel that we are. So I hope that you feel the same way. So let's check if we can get this done. Okay. So what we have here is almost exactly the same as what we had before, just to the other side, okay? But there's something that is different, and that is the fact that earlier each hole only had one that had to be filled. Now, these ones we don't know, and this one is a 2, and this one, okay. So 2 1s, 1, 2, and 3 that we don't know. So we won't be able to complete these holes by just using the full one block. We're going to need another conditional to do that. So we'll be using 2 conditionals, one to tell us to move and one that's going to tell us to fill the hole. So if we really have to, I don't think it's necessary because we're only using 7 blocks. But you can put a comment in there, and the comment, as I said, will not actually add on to your block count. It also doesn't get run by the code. It makes it like that, and that just comments it out. So the code will not run it. This is just for me to know what I'm coding, and if I ever work with somebody else, so that that person knows what I'm coding. It's specifically important if you are working on a project that you know, okay, maybe over a year, I'm going to have to come back in here and update some things and change some things or expand some things. Then you want to use the comments so that you know exactly what each section of code does. You can also, in the line and text-based form, use this for debugging, but that doesn't help us on the block leaf system, so I'm not going to touch on that too much. But what that means is you can take the line of faulty code, comment it out, run your program, and see which one is the one that's causing problems. Okay. So you could do that. I'm not going to. So what we're going to say is, while there is a path ahead, we want you to move forward. Now you get to choose. We've moved forward now once. There isn't a path anymore. So the code is now going to move from this to whatever is next. So you get to choose whether you want to turn right first and then fill, or whether you want to fill and then turn right. It's not going to matter in this situation. What you do need to know is that if you want to fill this time, you're going to have to give it a condition. You cannot just say fill 1 because we don't know how many there are. And there you can see the numbers start counting down. Right, so now we have the solution for this one. Okay, awesome. Somebody just sent me the code. So we have this one's solution. And although it doesn't look like it, but this solution is going to be the same for here, here, there, there, and there. So we just need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The same as what Lesedi said in the chat box. Okay. There we go. I just want to show you this. I want you to see that it's not going to make a difference in the end result. It'll make a difference in how the code is executed, but it will not make a difference in the end result. Okay. Are you happy with this? Can we continue? Okay, so this time they have it the other way around and they have piles there instead of holes. So I'm going to leave it to you in the chat box to tell me what to do. I want us to sort of gauge where you are, and I want to make sure that there is a good understanding before those informal assessments arrive next week. So just type in the chat box for me what are the first blocks and the second blocks and the third blocks that I need to place onto this workspace to solve this solution. Any ideas there? It's a bit more of a timely process when you guys type it for me in the chat, but I do have to sort of gauge where you're at. I don't want you to receive those puzzles next week and then you are angry at me because you don't necessarily understand how to do them. Awesome, there's the first input. While path ahead, move forward. Okay, I agree. Turn left, yes. Now, you need to specify, do I put the turn left after the loop or inside the loop? After move forward or after the loop? That is correct. Yes. And then we repeat everything times 4. Now we've made another hole there. Something's not right. Who can debug this? Yes. Well done. Well spotted. Okay. So just in case somebody's lost, we said, okay, we're going to move forward as long as there's a path ahead. Now this works because the piles are at the end of each path. Okay, if the pile was in the center, it would have been a different story. Once there isn't a path anymore, we want to turn left and then we want to remove one. We didn't have to put the remove in a conditional repeat of its own because there is only one. You can put it in a conditional repeat. It's going to act the same way, but you're going to be using an extra block that's unnecessary to use. Okay. Right, so now we have that same situation. We need to figure out the movements. We need to figure out how to remove not only one each time, but to remove one, then we don't know how many, and then 3. So I'm just going to show you that first move, which is pretty easy. Okay. And then this is going to look like this. Right, so that's pretty straightforward. That's our move, and we're going to do that 1, 2, 3 times. But now we need to do something else as well. And what is that? And where in this sequence does it happen? And don't be tricked by this. No, not this one. So that obviously will work, this while path ahead, but why do we want to use a conditional loop if 2 blocks will just do the same? Okay, so remember that whenever you are using 2 of exactly the same actions or blocks, and only 2, whether you put 2 blocks of those or whether you put them in a loop, it doesn't matter. It does make a difference if you're going to say move forward, turn, move forward, turn. Yes, then it makes a difference. Put the while block. Where? What? Which one? While path ahead, while there is a pile, and where do we need to put it? One, you can put the path ahead and then change this one to a pile if you want to, or you can use this one. But if you're going to type it to me on the chat box, you'll have to tell me which one to place and where it needs to be. Now remember, you don't want to place this entire thing in a while block, because this is going to just make it move as long as there's a pile on this, which is not what we want. So what we really want to do is do this. Or we want this before that turn left. Now we want to repeat this entire thing 3 times. Okay, does that one make sense to you? I just want to check from at least 1 or 2 more. Okay. Right, now we need to pay attention to this one. Take a good look at the code below. What will be left at the end of this puzzle? Nothing. This code will leave only level ground. Okay. This code will leave the pile completely untouched. This code will leave the holes completely untouched, or I don't know. So D, we know that we're not looking at that. So what we need to focus on is to read this and think what's going to happen. This is going to leave the holes. Somebody says C. The code will leave the holes completely untouched. Somebody else said A, nothing. The code will leave only level ground, right? Someone says B, right? So the best way for us to find out is to check. There is code to fill in the hole. Perfect. So that we can at least understand that there is a slight chance that these will be filled up. We just need to figure out the positioning. What I do not see is something to take away the pile. That's not on here. There isn't a conditional to say while there is a pile, there isn't a block that says remove 1, an action block. So I can already stand to know that that one is not going to be removed. That one will be there. Now I just need to figure out whether this fill and this condition is in the right position within the sequence. Okay, so let's see. This is saying while there's a path ahead, we want you to move forward. So if we are here, we're going to move forward to there. Then we're going to remove, I'm lying, we're going to fill that hole there. Then we're going to turn right. Then, because it's a repeat 3, this is the first time. The second time, we're going to move to there. Now, I do not see a while pile or a remove block, so it cannot be that one. But what will be is there isn't a hole, so it's going to just continue on to the next block of code, which says to turn right. Then we're going to move forward again because we have this on 3. We've only done 2 now, 1 and 2. And we have this conditional in place there. So we are going to go from there on that pile down to this hole here. And once we get there, the move forward is finished, so that's not going to continue. But we can now fill the hole. Okay. So mine is also, my guess is also B. Let's see. Okay, I assume that one was easy enough. See, it's going to harvester, but we don't want to play the harvester. We want to do the Minecraft one. Okay, I'm not a massive gamer myself, but this is one of the games that I do play with my 8-year-old boy. I enjoy it quite a lot. I'm not really good at it, but it's also the reason why I'm not a gamer is because I suck. But it is a bit of fun to play this. So I just want to give a run through for in case somebody doesn't know the game Minecraft. Okay. The first thing you need to know about it is that it was created mainly using JavaScript. And what you are learning here is mainly JavaScript. Okay. There. Let's just read this. Even top universities teach block-based coding, Berkeley and Harvard. But under the hood, the blocks you have assembled can also be shown in JavaScript, the world's most widely used coding language. So it's not just my opinion that it's the world's most widely used coding language. It's a fact stated by code.org, who is a leader in the field of teaching coding via the Blockly system. So the majority of the code behind Minecraft is exactly that, JavaScript. So it stands to reason, obviously you'll have to practice a bit more, but if you get JavaScript down, this could be in your future if it's something that you would enjoy doing, right? Now that's the first thing you need to know about Minecraft. The second thing is how it functions. So Minecraft is an entire world made out of blocks. Here you can see there's almost looks like sand. I don't know. That's why I think they keep skipping this Minecraft one. I think they're updating the rendering of these little play areas because the colors are off in some of them. Anyway, so there are wooden blocks there, some stone blocks here, water blocks and leaf blocks and so on and so forth. And in the world and the game of Minecraft, you can interact with these blocks. So with the chest, you can open it and you can actually find an entire boat in there. So that's one of the miracles of Minecraft, how you can fit all that stuff in a chest. And you'll see that there is a lot of stuff you can fit in there. So the chest you can open gets what is inside. Most of these blocks you can break and you can place them on a different spot. And you can use all of this to create your own little play area, world type town thing. Okay. So here, the most simple step is we want to move forward. So I just want to explain why this one is so easy. Minecraft Voyage Aquatic. This was one of the code.org courses. Hour of Code courses. Sorry, not just the code.org course, but an hour of code course. So what that means is that they start from the very beginning, very easy, and they gradually build on top of that. So don't worry, we will look at until loops in this one still. So I just want to get to that. Right. So here we're going to move forward, turn right, move forward twice. So this should be pretty straightforward for you by this time. So here it says, grab the oars and pilot your boat across the open seas to catch the cod. So this one, we literally have to put this down here 7 times. Although we know that we know how to repeat, but they don't give us access to a repeat block. Right, so now we have our new repeat block. So earlier we had a while loop, and that while loop says, As long as a condition is true, as long as a condition has been met, you do something until the condition is no more, until it is now false. This one is saying, as long as the condition is false, we want you to do something until you have reached this goal, until you have met the condition. Okay, so it's just a little bit different. And this is basically going to replace those 7 move forwards. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, move forwards to the dolphin. And what's nice about this as well is if they tell you you need to feed the dolphin, I never know, are you supposed to stand in front of it or on the same block as it? But if you say repeat until goal, the program is going to take it into the position that it's supposed to be by itself. Okay, does all of this make sense to you? I hope so, because there you have a batch of homework. If you share your homework with me, just type your name and tell me what grade you are, please. Okay. So we've done that. Now you see here, harvesting in conditionals is the next one. Obviously, we're not doing that. We're doing Minecraft. So I'll change this for tomorrow's slide. If you have any questions or you would like to share your homework with me, you can find me on this email address. You can also find us at Africa Team Geeks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. All right, thank you so much for being here, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.